boys and girls. It's Tuesday, April 7th. It's good to see you. I hope you had a great weekend. I'm joined here by Leo and Elfie and Elsa. So at any time, you might see any of our animal friends joining us for today's reading of Dragon Masters. So we had left off on chapter 6. It was called Wild Friends. And the title of our book is Waking the Rainbow Dragon. When we left off, Drake and Anna were sleeping, and when they opened their eyes, they were surrounded by 4 enormous creatures. And the word enormous means giant or very, very big. And I asked you to think about what you think the enormous creatures could be. So right now, take a few minutes. What could those enormous creatures be? And I'm going to read and we'll see if your prediction was correct. Anna, wake up, Drake yelled. We're surrounded by dragons. Well, I think they're dragons. The 4 creatures were as big as dragons, but they had very long, skinny noses. They had gray, wrinkly skin instead of scales. Their big ears looked like wings to Drake. What do you think? Using those clues, long, skinny noses, gray, wrinkly skin, no scales, and big ears that look like wings. Did you say an elephant? You were right. It's elephants. And elephants are enormous. Anna laughed. They're not dragons, Drake, she said. They're called elephants, and they're very friendly. Well, usually they are. Worm studied the elephants, and then his eyes began to glow. The elephants made trumpeting sounds with their trunks and shuffled their feet. Drake's dragonstone glowed. He heard Worm's voice inside his head. Worm asked the elephants to help us. They know of a village not far from here, Drake told Anna. They will lead us part of the way. Anna looked at the map. That's a good thing because our map still isn't working. Remember, Drake spilled water on the map and then all the magic disappeared. Elephants to the rescue, Drake said. Drake and Anna ate breakfast. Then they followed the slow-moving elephants across the land. After a short time, they stopped at a shallow pool of water in the ground. The elephants sucked up water in their long noses and then brought the water to their mouths. Worm and Capri drank too. The elephants waved their trunks at Worm and walked away. Drake heard words inside his head. The elephants told me how to get to the village. Follow me. Drake motioned for Anna and Capri to follow Worm. What about the rainbow dragon? Drake asked Worm as they walked on. Can you still feel her energy? It's very weak, Worm said. Something keeps blocking my mind powers. I feel her, but her location is fuzzy. Just then, Anna cried, Drake, look, it's the village. Drake turned and saw a bunch of round houses with pointy tops. Lots of people were walking around. Then Drake spotted the boy that the dragonstone had shown them. There he is, Drake yelled. That's the new Dragon Master. And he was the little boy that we saw on the back cover. That was our preview that we read before we started. And we're going to stop there, boys and girls. Our next chapter is called Chapter 7, The Chosen One. And the Chosen One would be the Dragon Master that was chosen, the newest character that we're going to meet. And I just have some thing I want to chat with you about with writing. If you are having trouble coming up with some ideas of things to write about every day when we're writing, remember in the beginning of the year we did something called a narrative, which is also called a story from your life. It could be about something that has happened in your life. It could also be something that you make up. Remember, we've talked about exaggeration. Exaggeration can sometimes make a story a little more interesting. So here are some writing ideas. Some of these things might be something that might give you some ideas. So some things you could write about: a place I'd like to live and tell us why, a trip I took, a favorite place I have been to, a place I would like to visit, a favorite day. Tell us about your favorite day. What would my favorite day be like? If you could have a favorite day, what would your favorite day be like? Who would be there? Where would you go? What would you do? You might want to write about a little brother or sister. What do they look like? What's their favorite food? What do they like to do? Remember, give us those good details. You could write a fairy tale or follow the pattern of another story you like. Naomi wrote an Easter story that she read to Mrs. Mitchell, and she used the pattern of the story, brown bear, but instead she did an Easter bunny. So you could try a story like that. You could also write about a magical land, about castles, jungles, unicorns, princesses. The list goes on and on and on. So maybe that will give you some ideas if you're having a little bit of a brain freeze about what to write about. You also could write some nonfiction. Remember, nonfiction is true. That's our facts and information. So if you are reading some nonfiction and you want to do a little writing, you can read and find out about your main topic of the book. Remember, that's what the book is about. And then you can give some key details, which are your facts and your information about it. So for example, if you happen to read a book about giraffes, remember giraffes is your main topic. And then if you wanted to give 3 facts about giraffes, those are your key details. So you might say giraffes have long necks. Giraffes use their long necks to eat leaves that are on the tops of trees. And giraffes are mammals. That would be 3 facts or 3 key details. You maybe could make that into a little fact book and teach those facts to somebody in your home. Write as many facts as you can. You don't have to stop at 3. Okay, so again, those are some ideas to get us thinking about our writing, keep us fresh with our writing, because sometimes we do get a little brain freeze, even grown-ups do. Okay, all right, boys and girls, have a good night. Remember, you are loved. Bye-bye.